There is always a first time for everything. Anything you begin as well as anything you fail. So a failure also was there for me after I was successful for 7 consecutive cases in 2009 when I started. And I was high on my energies and high on success with the objective decompressions of post-operative MRI that I used to get it done that time also. And this was my 8th case. And this clearly shows a very big disc there. And you can see my trajectory. I was hitting there. And I was nowhere near that disc which I should have removed. So that was my earlier teaching what told me that you have to enter at say 7 centimeter and reach to a target, and terribly failed. All my other 7 cases were paracentral disc and I could attempt it. And there was nothing to learn at that point of time for me. And a immediate thing what I had visualized to me and I evolved was this: go flat. 13 to 16 centimeter from the midline was my always an entry point for all cases which I have done from that day. So that was the first thing. For going more epidural, you need to be more flatter. Say Prasad's paper was there. So you have to be within 20 degrees to 25 degrees, you are able to reach to most. And of course, if you have a good foraminoplasty done, you can have again epiduralization. And even with more articulated instruments, it becomes even more easier also. So that is the message from that concludes from the first failure itself. But this central disc herniation, which is coming from the center, it is ill-defined for the reason of not being completely defined. Even the open surgeries also, protrusion, extrusion, sequestrations, all are included in the centrus group. But what it means to be that in the center, it should not be deviating more than 10% from the midline. And it can be a central mass prolapse, whereas the fragment has come out extruded through the ligamentous, that is transligamentous extrusions, or it can be completely covered. This both are different because then you have to cut through the PLL also if it is trans. The best classification that would describe the size of this is an MSU classification, which would say something bigger than say 50% of the canal occupancy is a big disc. At the same time, something within the A is a completely A-type central disc, and AB, both-sided occupancy also is a central big disc. So this is the basic classification which everybody should follow. And it's rare, it's not very common, but the surgical failures are too high, or should I say that there can be primary failures in posterior surgeries also, and there is need for using foraminoplasty articulated instruments. And it was not long before, 5 to 10 years back, the literature was mentioning that central disc herniations and migrated disc herniations high are contraindicated for transforaminal surgery. And even Sumit was just talking about for the interlaminar surgeries also, some of them like the Cauda-Equina syndromes, like the calcified disc, they are contraindicated. So the other thing what happens is that when bilateral symptomatic patients are there and you are going from one side, opposite side adequacy of decompression can become a difficulty if you have not touched all points of decompression. But going flat allows to do that. And associated with them are disc migrations, calcified disc, Cauda-Equina syndromes. And true realistic reporting of the Cauda-Equina syndromes following a posterior surgery is very less. There were a few reports which I have traced down, even 15% of the iatrogenic are because of a central disc, and they have been reported in the literature as well. In the learning curves of many of the pioneers, even in this case by Sangoli, there were 15% failures of the central disc there. In a very high series of say, so a big series of 10,000 and more, the percentages of failures, 32% was in central disc herniation. That itself mentions the failure rates. We have Girish here, he has already published the central disc herniation. This is it, and he has clearly told what is to be done. So you reach here for a central disc, it is difficult. My first failure shows in this image, and what you have to do is you have to come more medial, do this medial annulotomy. Then additionally what you do is a foraminoplasty, and that makes you reach near to the disc. So that is all what you need to do. There are literature reports, 130 patients with good outcomes, which has been mentioned. He is one who has given a good idea about the same thing what we are talking about, reaching to the dorsum of the disc by doing a foraminoplasty. So that gives good outcome in the cases which they have reported. This again Sagar has also reported about the same thing, to reach dorsal to the disc fragment. And this is one of the paper which stressed the importance of again giving a good outcome, but they clearly told that the medial pedicular line should not be your target because you may hit the dura. So be careful. Articulated instruments, as I shared, will help to reach. So there is role for even combined approaches, people doing the central disc with a posterior approach as well as transforaminal. There are strange things which are there, massive central disc herniation, transforaminally operated. This is the outcome there. And what you see in this is that you are able to see the complete dura there, fluttering there, and you can very well go to the opposite side and even see and feel the below the opposite roots. So if you are flat, you are able to do it easily. So this concludes my talk, and complete improvements are usually the cases with even the deficits, and this is all these are all just possibilities, not indications. Thank you.